Well, it's time to talk a little weather. Hi, everybody. Hope you're settled in for the evening. Kevin Harned, Ryan Hoke here. We have got just a little bit of snow around the area. We're going to be talking about that. Obviously, as we look forward into the overnight, there's the view of the storm tracker out and about. So some places are getting snow, have been getting snow. Other places are still like, well, are we going to get any snow or not? We're going to try to answer that question as we roll through the next half hour. So you can chime in. We see your comments, and we appreciate that. If you're seeing something, we like that. Brian's saying nothing here at all close to Middletown. That's true. We haven't had much. Some folks are cheering on the snow. Pamela Joe, we know the snow lovers are out there. Pamela Joe says, bring on the snow. Here's one from Fern Creek. Katie's saying it's just now starting in Fern Creek.
Yeah, and Fern Creek's right on the northern edge of where it's snowing right now. A lot of Louisville's not seeing it. Laura Adams says, hello, guys. Hello to Laura. We appreciate everybody logging on this evening. We have 757 people on our live stream amongst YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, and of course, so many different platforms here on the Wave Now apps and the Wave Weather app. In fact, the Wave Weather app just sent us a push notification saying
looking at our watch,
we're on the air. So you can watch so many different ways. If you're on the Wave Weather app or watching through Wave Now, you won't be able to see those comments, but we'll read them to you this evening.
Yeah, we were working on having a special guest on with us. I couldn't get the audio figured out, so we'll do that the next time. But John Belsky, everybody knows, is a big snow lover, and he was going to chime in and just say hello. But we'll get that hooked up hopefully by tomorrow, and everybody will be able to say hey to John and Lynn. Anyway, let's jump in. We've got snow Shelbyville. There's snow in Flaherty, Meade County coming in. We're just showing a lot of your comments here. A lot of folks just saying hello from where they are. There's Westview. Teresa's there. We know that there's nothing yet in Henry County, but Patty, there will be. So hang in there. Watching from Cloverport, nothing there yet. Most of today we've seen focus to the south, and you can see the difference in the storm tracker from the side roads that have been untreated to the main roads that have been. It is snowing, but most of the roads are still in decent shape if they've been treated for now, but that will change.
And the good news is today we got above freezing for just a very short time.
35.
And that helped the road. So the road treatment is going to be super effective tonight. Early tomorrow morning, not quite as much as temperatures start to drop.
Yeah, and even though we'll be in the 20s early tomorrow, there will still be some effects of the salt that's been put down over the last couple of days. So that's what we'll be looking at. Let's talk about what's happening in the weather. We're going to walk you through what we're seeing. Obviously, we've got our SkyTrack network of cameras up. This is Bardstown, snowing there. You can see the roads are wet. The treated roads are wet. So some good news for folks down in Bardstown. We've had the alert day, and for folks that are new, and we've got over 1,000 folks in here at this point, and even more watching on our streams. The alert days are just meant to, we live in a noisy world. We know everybody's busy and it's hard to get people's attention. And it's just kind of like, hey, over here, pay attention. We want you to focus in on a day where the weather could impact your plans. That's the whole point of the alert day. It's not meant to hype the weather up. It's just meant to say, hey, we've got technology now that allows us to look out. We give a 10-day forecast. We give it on the app, we give it on TV. And when we see where weather has the potential to impact your plans, we put that tag on there, the alert day.
And this alert day was declared on Sunday, I believe. I texted this guy over here and said, hey, I think we need an alert day. And sure enough, we hoisted that up. So folks had about a 5-day lead time on this with our alert days. This is not to alarm you. This is to inform you. So that's why we do these alert days.
Yeah, and obviously we've got the light snow falling. So the alert day is going to work with us through the overnight hours. These waves of snow. Listen. It's moisture starved. So the snow folks have to be frustrated this year. It's like, oh my gosh, another one of these winters
so
where
close,
it's just like
so close.
All you get's like the crumbs,
Yeah, you see what they had down in like Middle Tennessee, like 8 inches of snow.
Knoxville was one of those huge snow.
Ridiculous. So I-40 has had so much more snow than I-64 so far this season. Who had that on their bingo card, right?
Yeah.
The season's still young.
Yeah. Blame it on La Nina, right?
Yes.
We do have waves of snow that will push through overnight tonight. It fades out by early to mid-morning, but the temperatures will keep going down. So the temperatures play a key role in this, along with the pavement that has been treated and what has not been treated. So again, the winter weather advisory covers the majority of the viewing area. That technically is in place until 7 p.m. We will let the alert day tomorrow expire after the morning show, most likely. Our snow map looks like this. We're just going to get right to it. We know everybody wants to know how much snow we're going to get. What are we going to get? Here we go. Yada, yada, yada. Everybody wants snow. Everybody wants to know how much they're going to get. Take just a moment to find your location on this map. And this is what we're thinking. Most of this from this point forward will fall as snow. We have had a little bit of sleet mixing in, but for all intents and purposes, this is now going to be a snowmaker across the area. Some areas of western Jefferson County back to the west, including Paoli, Corydon, Brandenburg, Hardinsburg, Litchfield, perhaps even down toward E-Town. You're probably going to see less than an inch of snow out of this. Areas to the north and off to the east, perhaps a few places just south of us, like Bardstown, Lebanon, Campbellsville, Greensburg, you may wind up with 1 to 2 inches of snow. And then that 2 to 4 inch range is over in Lexington. You know what everybody sees when we put up a map like this?
What do they see? The highest amount?
The highest
yeah,
amount.
Of course.
So they said we were going to get 2 inches of snow. No, we said less than 1 for some, 1 to 2 for others.
Now, you may wonder, why does this snow map look like this? We've been kind of redrawing this at times today.
There is no rhyme or reason. It's a coloring class.
Well, there is a little rhyme and reason. And here's the reason why. You see that little bump in the 1 to 2 and the 2 to 4 up toward like Carrollton, where it kind of bumps up toward northern Kentucky, the Cincinnati area. The reason for that is you've got these two different pieces of energy moving through, right? The southern piece, the northern piece. They're going to interact more in areas east and northeast of Louisville, but there's going to be a gap. And unfortunately, of course, Louisville kind of falls in that gap a bit, but so does the I-71 corridor here quite a bit. So that's why snow totals are reduced basically from Louisville up toward the very southern part of the northern Kentucky metro area with Cincinnati there. It's all about the interaction of those two pieces of energy. So there's kind of some skill in why this was drawn the way it is.
Yeah, and we just hope it works out that way. It's always a gamble, right? But the fact is, there's just not a lot of moisture with this system. It's coming in from the north. It's moisture starved. We can't get too much snow out of the deal. We've had one wave going through to our south. Pavement temperatures down that way are below freezing. That would include the Bluegrass Parkway, 31 degrees on the pavement temperature. Air temperatures right at 30 degrees. And you're going to notice even colder temperatures, I-65, I-64 in the upper 20s. That's important to watch. And no, we wish that was 60 up I-65, but that's a little bit of an anomaly.
That sensor's been updating. I think there's a car parked next to it, and the exhaust is actually going on to the thermometer. I was noticing that earlier today.
Oh, really?
I literally think that's what's going on.
So if I click on it, can we see that?
Because the air temperature is correct at 32 degrees. Isn't that interesting? So there was a little bit of a traffic backup there earlier, and I was like, I wonder if there's like a car parked next to this. So it's been going up just a little bit. Like it was in the 50s. Now it's back up to 60.
Let's all hit Scottsburg right on 65. We'll just sit on the road.
Data's flowing. Data ain't right, but it's flowing. So
at least it's changing, right?
It's working.
All right. Well, you can see the next batch of snow off to the north and northwest. That's what is moving in our direction. The radar shows that too. So Ryan mentioned the two pieces of energy that we'd be watching. Obviously, you can see the one that has moved areas to our south. So that's one piece of energy. And then the other one is back up to the north with that Arctic front. So we're going to have some bitterly cold temperatures coming in on the backside of the system. We're talking temperatures back in the single digits by early Saturday morning, early Sunday morning.
And that is dangerous cold, right? I mean, that's stuff that you can't really stand outside in for much too long and not have some sort of effects. Hey, something we've been showing today here on TV, and of course we're showing you right now, MPing reports.
Nice.
These are reports from citizens like you using either the MPing app that you can get on your app store for free, or using an app like RadarScope, which has it built in. And this is kind of just a bunch of citizen weather observers saying, hey, here's what I'm seeing at my location. We have literally dozens of these reports from the last 4 hours here. And notice most of these are blue. That light blue color, if you look at the legend at the top, says snow. We have had a few sleet reports. We've had a couple of freezing rain reports that may be just sleet. Folks get confused between sleet and freezing rain a lot on these MPing reports. But the actual freezing rain and freezing drizzle threat that was down in Bowling Green really did not materialize in many of our counties. So that's some good news. This is straight up snow, it looks like, Kevin. I think that's going to be the the pattern overnight tonight is keeping with that snow.
Yeah, the column is cooling down, and once we sort of cool the whole column, there's really no potential for sleet or freezing rain, and that's all of the latest reports have been snow, and you can see it's snowing in southern parts of Franklin County. That includes Frankfort. That light snow carries over into parts of Spencer County, including Taylorsville, a good chunk of Nelson County, northeast Nelson County in particular. As you work your way Bloomfield, Chaplin, down to Bardstown, and even toward Elizabethtown. So parts of Hardin County seeing some of that snow. We also, as we zoom this out, see the other piece of that energy pushing across Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana. That's going to push down our way as well. If we take a closer view, you can see it's all very light, but as the temperature cools down, even the light precipitation adds up, and that's a ratio talk.
And these snow to liquid ratios typically involve the temperature, because as the temperature goes down, the amount of liquid that you need to get 1 inch of snow also goes down. So typically snow is like a 10-to-1 ratio, right? For every 1 inch of liquid, you get 10 inches of snow. In this scenario, to early, say Friday morning, will be a little closer to like a 15, a 12, a 13, a 14, a 15-to-1 snow ratio. So instead of getting 10 inches of snow out of 1 inch of liquid, you get like 12 to 15 inches. No, we're not getting that, by the way. That's just an example. It just goes to show that you don't need as much moisture when the temperature is cooler to get those fluffier snow totals. And I know we had a question in here. I can't find it anymore, but it was on our live stream comments here. Is it easier to drive in wet snow or fluffy snow? And in my opinion, I think it's a little easier to drive in that fluffy snow because it gets displaced away from the roadway by wind. You know, your tires can kind of push it aside. It's not as packed in there. So it can be a little easier sometimes if it's more of a fluffy snow to drive in, I think, at least.
Yeah, and a lot of folks chiming in. We'll go through some of your messages here while we're on the radar. Wish it would snow in southern Indiana. Angel says that. A lot of folks wanting snow, and the saying around here is always, well, if it's going to be this cold, it might as well snow, right?
Yes.
And here's Alicia saying, send all the snow to Madison. Now, whether she lives in Madison or not, I don't know. Maybe there's an X there. She's like, let's just snow them in.
Oh, that's where my mother-in-law is.
Yeah, right. Who knows? Send it there. Been snowing in Chaplin since about 5 p.m. So we appreciate those reports from down that way. And a lot of folks are asking about closings. Of course, you can find all of those on our apps. You know, the scroll on the TV is, and we have it up on Wave, but it's almost archaic. Like, remember back in the day where you wait for that music to come on and then the list would scroll? You're like, oh man, are we there? And you know, if you had one down the alphabet, it was like, come on. Well, fact is today, all you got to do is just pick up the phone and like, and it's like, okay, well, and then most of the time now they're texting you and calling you in 10 other ways, letting you know you don't have school or you're going to have to study on your own at home.
Right. And
that would happen.
And a lot of times there are no more school closings. It can be NTI or at-home learning for a lot of these districts here. So a lot of kids will be at home on their Chromebooks or iPads or what have you, doing their studies while the snow is on the ground outside.
Yeah, I have a feeling that these back roads, regardless of where you are, putting down that light coating of snow is still going to be problematic tomorrow. So I think you're going to see a lot added to the list by tomorrow morning. Again, we're sort of at the lull. This is probably, when you take the 30 counties that we serve, this is probably the least amount of snow that's been falling since mid-afternoon.
Yeah, it's true. It's because this first piece of energy is starting to roll out. The second one is starting to become dominant to the north. You'll note that the radar will start to fill in a bit more as we head toward midnight. As that second piece of energy moves in, it's like snow blossoming out of nowhere almost. And that's what's going to happen. You see it here on Futurecast, where around midnight, it's snowing like in southern Indiana, north of the Ohio River. And that will just get progressively more widespread heading into like 4, 5, 6 a.m. tomorrow.
And Destiny's asking, is the second wave going to come through E-Town?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this will come through the entire viewing area. So southern Indiana, that's had no snow at all today, we'll see some snow out of this. This will be waves of snow. So you see one wave push through during the early overnight, so within the next couple of hours. In fact, it should arrive here in Louisville before probably in the 10 o'clock hour. And then we're going to continue to see, as the night rolls on, waves of light snow push through. Notice the temperature. It goes down, and here we are at 10 a.m., and it keeps going down even after the snow has ended. So it's an indicator that the cold Arctic front is associated with this snow. And once it passes by, the temperatures tank in a big way.
And keep an eye on those roads in these temperatures, because anything that melts because of salt or road treatment during the day may refreeze heading into early Saturday morning, because that road salt is not very effective under 15 degrees. So it'll be fine in the morning for road salt to work. It's Saturday morning when any sort of refreezing may take place that it may be a little tougher for those road crews to get a handle on that.
Yeah, Ava's saying they have a good dusting in the Hillview, Bullitt, Jefferson County line area. It's been snowing in Campbellsville since about 3 p.m.
Yeah.
So they've had a nice coating of snow. And if you had the storm tracker up earlier and you were watching that, you saw some of the snow on those roads down in parts of especially southern Hardin, LaRue, Nelson, over into Greene and Adair counties. These are temperatures for early Saturday. Ryan mentioned how cold. Single-digit lows again. When that salt becomes ineffective is around the single digits. And you'll notice the wind chill. Even a light wind adds a big chill. And we're talking minus, in some cases, double-digit wind chills. Now, Sunday morning may not be quite as cold, but it's pretty close looking at those temperatures again in the single digits through that time.
And the wind won't be as bad Sunday morning, so that'll help the wind chill situation. At least there's that, right?
Yeah, right.
At least.
Always looking for the positive.
Oh,
That's what I like about this
I
guy.
try to be optimistic, especially this time of year, because this is like, the depths of winter, and so many folks are like, this is kind of a sad time of year. Well, we need to look for the positives here.
True. We always ask for positives in terms of your photos, by the way. So if it's safe, we always ask that. Doesn't matter what kind of weather. But if it's safe, jump out. Easy to do if you have the Wave Weather app, and so many of you do. It is the area's #1 weather app, so thank you for that. We love your feedback. It helps us make our app better. And if you go to the app, you'll see submit your photo. That's important, and we appreciate that. I'm going to punch up the storm tracker here. It's probably coming back closer to town by now. I'm not sure where it is. Maybe Mount Washington.
I'll try to check the location on the radar.
Well, that's a good point. I could put that up.
Yeah, let's see where it's at.
So we have GPS built into the storm tracker. So I'm just going to punch up the radar.
And we know it works because I just fixed it. It locked up earlier.
Yeah, frozen like everything else.
Woo!
As soon as we get the
frozen like Elsa
image to pop up, and I'll just put the conditions up so we can see it.
Mount Washington.
Look at that. See, I thought I recognized Mount Washington pretty much right at my dentist right there, I think. My old dentist. So it's 26 degrees right there in Bullitt County as it pushes through Mount Washington. And then, of course, if you want to see what it looks like here, how about we just leave that up?
Ta-da. Pretty cool, right? But yeah, it looks pretty good there right now.
Yeah, just
the
wet
road crews
roads,
did
as we would
fantastically down.
All right, let's jump in. There it is. And we appreciate Mary Lou saying it's snowing in Mount
Ta-da.
Washington. Indeed, it is. We see that. And it's also, yeah, it's like, you win.
Correct.
Snowing in Elizabeth, Indiana, too. Vacation day tomorrow, Ashley says. So let it snow, right? Been snowing in Fisherville. Molly.
Hey, Molly, what's up? Molly used to work here.
Yeah, Molly's got her hands full.
She's a teacher now.
Well, yeah, I was not talking about the school kids, but her own kids. Yeah, miss you guys too. All right, let's see. The comments are pouring in. Have the models come into agreement? I like the way folks want to hear about the models. For the most part, yes. And the good part about this is the models have generally been in agreement on this part of the storm because it's coming from the north, not a lot of moisture to work with. The question mark was how much freezing rain or sleet would we induce into this for that first round, which is now ending, because that would have taken down the totals. For the most part, we didn't have in our area. Now, if you got down to Bowling Green and maybe Columbia, we had a few more freezing rain reports. So that kept totals down just a bit. But all in all, the forecast is going to be pretty much on track, which is why our snow map hasn't changed a whole lot since we made it earlier today.
Yeah, and that's great news because you don't like having like a glaze of ice underneath this fluffy snow. That's no good for driving, right? So we had cold enough temperatures aloft, we had enough saturation aloft, and that made this a 100% snow deal for most of our counties there.
Braden's asking, will Wave Weather now ever show cancellations and delays?
Braden keeps us on our toes around here, technically.
Yeah, right?
I hope so. Maybe at some point we'll be able to wire that in there. So
see, and
that's a future request.
And I would be the opposite of that. I would say that is archaic and we don't need it for screen clutter. So I would be against it, to be honest. Too much stuff. Everybody has one of these now. Everybody has a phone. They're calling, they're texting, there are many places to get it. You don't need it covering up your programming on the screen. Anyway.
Old man yells at cloud. more, film at 11.
My opinion. Well, I mean, you're the one, old man. You're the one wanting to keep it. I'm like, let's move on with the new
I was
technology.
just saying we would consider the feature request from Mr. Braden, who's a big fan of ours. Thank you, Braden.
Yes, and I appreciate the suggestion.
Wave3.com has your cancellation.
Valerie, oh hey Val, is asking, how often is the Wave Weather app updated on the mobile app?
Pretty frequently. Yeah.
So the Wave Weather app is updated many times throughout the day. And we do it by hand. So we can set it and forget it. But for our 30 counties, we like to adjust the forecast for all of them. So we spend a tremendous amount of time updating the forecast. And if you go into the daily forecast, so there's a button at the bottom of the app and you tap daily, you'll see the 10 days pop up. You'll notice we tailor or edit all of the day parts. But if you tap the day, especially if it's in the near term, you'll get a whole sort of paragraph description or several sentences at least of what's happening. And so it's the thinking of what we're saying, what we're thinking, we just type in there. Here's what's happening. It's pretty powerful.
It is. And we can show that on Wave Weather Now as well on our live stream. So all of that is typed in by hand for the most accurate and precise forecast, because I know there's AI, I know there's like machine learning and all this stuff, but it still requires a human meteorologist to make a darn good forecast, especially this time of year, because Kevin, snow is tough.
Yeah, it is. All right. Let's see. We've got a question here asking about the radar showing snow in Louisville, but nothing so far. So I'm going to show you the radar, and we've got, obviously we have the radar that we can change the sensitivity on. So I'm going to show you that, because our radar obviously isn't showing anything until you get down towards southern Jefferson County. But the radar you may be looking at looks more like that. So it is showing something falling. And it just depends whether it's composite radar or the individual site and what intensity it's on. Obviously, we can adjust that when we're controlling our output here. So that's why we're showing you that, because that's more accurate. However, it is snowing. It's just not reaching the ground, most likely. So at some point it will, and it will stay filled in. That's the tough part about looking at the composite radar.
It's tough because you kind of have to know what you're looking at with those products, and not everybody is trained for that, right? You just want to be able to point and say, oh, it's snowing right there. It's not that easy. You've got dry air, you've got elevation. There's just so many things that can override that kind of a deal there.
I think Joey's talking to you.
Oh,
he wants you to
gosh.
stop trying to scare people.
Does this look scary right
We've
here?
been laughing more than scaring. So welcome to the show, Joey.
Be prepared, not scared, as they say.
We're just having fun on here, telling you what it's going to do. You decide if you want to be scared. That's not my job. I'm telling you it's going to snow 1 to 2 inches.
Okay.
It's not stopping people from going to Publix. I know that.
Oh my gosh. My Facebook, can I just get on a soapbox here? My Facebook has been filled with that store the last week and a half. Holy cow.
I made the mistake just because I wanted to see it, and I went in the Saturday after it opened, like on a Thursday. I literally walked in, and it was a zoo, meaning it was packed. And I just had to turn around and walk back out. I thought, this probably is not for me.
That may be one of the biggest cultural phenomenons to hit this city in quite some time. It's incredible.
More to come. Oh, there's Tammy McNeil.
Hey, Tammy.
Thank you. She knows so well how
She's
many
so sweet.
hours it is working in a TV station during inclement weather. So, yes.
Love you,
we
Tammy.
miss you too. Let's see. I'm trying to pull up comments. They're flying by.
They go by too fast. Here we go.
Brian just wants to know where's everybody in E-Town. I don't know if he's out and about or just wants to know where they are in the room here.
Where my E-Town peeps at?
Give him a shout out.
Where y'all out?
Here we go. Snowing like crazy in Youngers Creek.
Okay.
Now, you know where that is?
Youngers Creek.
Yeah.
Where-
Any idea?
Let's see. Is that going to be Hardin? Am I?
No.
Not Hardin.
I'm going to show you.
I've seen it on
I
the
hope
map.
it'll pop on here. Youngers Creek is down near Lions Station, so
Oh, heck. I was close.
it's pretty much right where that little
Yeah.
blob of snow is. So my family farm is actually there,
the
which is how I
Nelson
know.
border here.
Yeah. So close to Lions Station.
Oh,
Yes,
that's
it
in
is.
New Haven.
Look, that's just a little blip of it right there.
There
But
it is.
Beverly is right. Beverly Hornback. A lot of Hornbacks down that way. All right. Watching from northern Kentucky. Originally from Bardstown, no snow there. Appreciate you watching, Chris. And that's the beautiful thing about all the digital streams, whether you're watching on our app, our Wave Weather Now sort of 24/7 stream, which we're very proud of. It's the only local live weather stream. You can watch it anywhere. So you got family that lives here and you're out in California, tune in.
You can get the Wave Now app for your smart TV too. And you can tell like your parents or grandparents in another city to get that. And they can keep up with the weather around here. It's like super easy. It's like TV anywhere, local TV. It's great. I love it.
All right, here's Ray. She drives for JCPS. Where's my day off?
Where's
tomorrow?
my day off?
I have a feeling it might be coming. We'll see.
I'll make that decision at 5
It doesn't
a.m.
take much. Yeah, they don't tell us anything until you sit.
No, if this week's been any indication, like it doesn't take much at all. So we'll see what they do at 5 a.m. there.
Yeah, lots of learning from home.
My
this
gosh.
week.
That's changed so much since we were in school.
I do have a question, and I asked this to our newsroom, but the fact is, when we went through COVID and everybody had to learn from home,
Oh, yeah.
it seemed like our test scores went way down.
There were some impacts.
And so what I don't understand is like, anyway, I probably shouldn't get into that here, but I'm trying to understand why we would have so many. Like, it seems like it can be done for anything now. It's like, oh, we're just going to go NTI. Let's just learn from home. Oh, no, there's no teachers on that. You're on your own. It's like, well, haven't we proven that doesn't work?
I don't know. I'm not a teacher.
I'm just throwing it out there. just a conversation. Maybe it works.
Hot takes.
Back to weather. This is what I'm here. Hot takes.
Back in my day.
All right, we're going back to Oldham County. Notice that snow across northern Bullitt County, southeast Jefferson County. So picking up snow from Glen Mary down through Mount Washington. And then Jamie's asking about Oldham County. So let's zoom out on the radar and you'll see. We'll track that into Oldham County. I'm going to say 10:30 to 11:30. What's your guess?
Snowing pretty good up there in North Vernon right now. I'd say closer to midnight. Just been kind of moving slow, but yeah, that's that composite radar. It makes it look like it's snowing everywhere right now, but the individual radar sites obviously can show that pretty well.
This is over the last couple of hours. The 3-hour loop is what this is showing you. So if we go back up, we've got some heavier snow, and I'll pause the radar there.
Look at that.
So we've got some pretty heavy snow. And let me take that surface map off.
The big black line of doom there.
Right. And let's just zoom in because we do have some decent snow now falling in southern Indiana.
Yeah.
We'll go through the counties and we'll just name some places here. There's North Vernon, obviously. You go down to Hayden. That's as you work your way farther to the south. We're going to push past Kaminsky, go into northern parts of Jefferson County, and then and that's Jefferson County, Indiana. I'm just kind of scanning about there.
We're hovering between two radar sites.
That's why
so if you see the radar flicker, there's a good reason for that. The blue that you see over like Scott County and near New Washington, that's probably not reaching the ground at this point.
The radar beam from Indianapolis is shooting much higher into the atmosphere. And then when we switch to the Louisville radar, just based on moving the map, boom, that's really what's happening closer to that radar. All right. So that's what's going on. A good chunk of Jennings County getting some pretty decent snow. And then when you look at what's coming our way from back out to the west, I will put the composite on so you can see that. And let's just put that into motion. And again, we'll time it between 10:30 and midnight by the time we start to see some of that snow fill in across our area, because it's likely what's going to fill in before what really is up there moves our way.
Suzanne says she could listen to weather stuff like this all day. We get kind of nerdy over here if you couldn't tell.
We've been doing it all day, I feel like, for the last, 2 weeks? You missed half of it last week.
I missed some of it, yeah, absolutely. But I got here for the snowy part. I just missed the thunderstorm and the wind part of that.
Right. Here's Sabrina. No snow in Valley Station. Nope, not yet, but just hang in there. Another 3 hours, you should have some snow falling. Wind chill in the morning. Thanks for the update, Melissa. Yeah, winds tomorrow, we're going to be in the 20s, but that temperature is actually going to be colder tomorrow afternoon.
Yep.
And probably not only air temperature, but wind chill than it will be in the morning.
So the wind chill in the morning, maybe in the teens. The wind chill by the afternoon, we may start dipping down into the single digits. Again, that's wind chill, not actual air temperature. Actual single digits happen by Saturday morning.
Here's Cindy. Did I lose Cindy? Well, here's Devon. Confidence in the snow in Corridon. I think the confidence is high that we'll see snow in Corridon. And that should happen again somewhere before midnight and a couple of rounds pushing through overnight. It's not going to be heavy, though. It's not going to be heavy anywhere.
No.
So if you're looking for, 3, 4, that good sledding snow, snowball making snow, this is not going to be the snow for you.
Because the snow deflection shield of wave country continues to be in effect, it seems. It's so crazy that we've had so much snow like down in Tennessee, but not a whole lot here in our area. And part of the reason why is because it has been so cold, it has pushed that storm track down toward the I-40 corridor, not so much closer to us. So when you get in a La Nina setup like this, we can show you maps for days about this, you typically get a more amplified pattern. You get these colder troughs that push deeper to the south, and that pushes the snow down into parts of like Alabama and Tennessee. In Kentucky, we get shafted sometimes by that. So that's the kind of pattern we're in now. It doesn't mean it's going to be like that all winter, but that's what we've seen the last week, 2 weeks.
Kayla's asking about the morning commute. So fact is on that, it's going to be dicey, especially on the untreated roads. The main interstate's probably going to be okay tomorrow morning. But when you get even 1 to maybe as much as 2 inches of snow across the area, that's going to cause some problems. Temperatures are going to be in the low 20s. We always see problems with that. The bridges, the overpasses, especially, and I keep repeating myself, the untreated roads will be slick.
It's so true. Untreated roads are a big problem. And especially if you live like on an elevation. I always think about folks with elevated driveways and, things like inclines on roads in neighborhoods in these types of situations. You don't need a whole lot of snow to have big problems trying to get in and out of your neighborhood here. And that's a big factor into why school systems either go NTI or cancel. It's not just because Bardstown Road is fine. Why can't we go to school? No, it's those neighborhood streets those buses have to navigate sometimes.
Any snow chance in the near future? Once we pass today
This is it.
And early tomorrow morning, we're back into a warmer weather pattern, back above average. Lots of rain, it looks like, next week. Frequent repeats of showers. Nothing severe, but decent amount of rain.
Right. And it'll be nice to thaw out. We've got temperatures in the 50s coming our way. That kind of begs the question, do you like 55 and rain better, or do you like it to be super cold and dry like we've had it lately? And it just depends on your personal preference here. I know my sump pump has still been running from all the rain we had last week. Groundwater starting to come back up from our drought here. So at least there's that going on for us.
Right.
We needed some rain. We got some at least.
Here's a question asking, are we still expecting that thin layer of ice under the snow? And that was possible earlier today. It happened down in Columbia over toward Bowling Green, where we had just a real light area of freezing drizzle, like freezing rain, mixing in then with some sleet and then to snow. But the answer for us here in Louisville is no. We're going to see just snow out of this. And that's what everybody will see from this point forward. So that thin layer of ice, if it's not already down, meaning if you're not to the south of us, then you don't have to worry about that. So it's just snow that we're dealing with. And the snow is going to be helpful for even those folks because it provides at least a little bit of traction.
Yeah, it's better than freezing rain, which is like everybody's least favorite form of precip here.
There's a report from Guston coming in from Stephanie, light powder falling there. And speaking of powder, wasn't it good to see Paoli Peaks up and running?
Yes. They've had some tough seasons lately. The winters haven't been very hospitable, but it's been so cold this year. They've been pumping out snow.
Here's Heather saying it's snowing tiny stuff here in Hillview. The driveway is slick. So
Ooh,
be careful.
Already in Hillview. Goodness, that makes sense.
So no substantial snow or ice. Looks like we're in the clear outside of the neighborhoods. I think that sums it up. That's probably true.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a ton of snow. Probably not enough to go sledding on for most.
Very treatable snow on the roads, which is good for those roads that are, again, treated. Patches.
Kind of hoping for a snow day in Seymour so I can take new driver to.
Oh,
there you go. We had to always do that. I had a front wheel drive car. So
did you?
I had to do it in reverse.
Oh. that seems a lot more dangerous. I don't know why.
Get into all this. Get myself in trouble. All right. It was a little dangerous.
I could see you, like 17 years old, trying to do reverse whirly gigs.
Yeah.
That's
kind of fun.
You're making me hungry. I want a donut.
Right? 55 and wet. That's what they're choosing. Well, at least that's what Kimberly chose.
Right.
All right. How much snow are we going to get? All right. So
we should probably put the snow map.
Been a minute
up.
since I had the
snow. We still
map.
have 620 folks with us here on our social platforms and untold scores of folks on our Wave Weather Now and Wave Now live streams, which you can find in our Wave Now app, our Wave Weather app, and the Wave News app as well here. So a lot of folks are tuning in and out of this. If you're tuning in, this is our snow map.
Tara says, please just We want cool and snow. Just one good time. I'm over the rain. Yeah, you know what? One. I would go with one. Now, Brian, he'd just soon have snow every day of the winter. But one huge, 30 years ago we had it. So it
94.
can't happen.
I remember 94.
Tell me what you remember about
Snow was up to my waist. We went out my front door. We were living up near Worthington
You
Hills.
were what, 5?
I was 3.
2?
I was 3.
Okay.
I was 3 years old. And I remember it because I was like, why is snow up to my waist? But one of my earliest weather memories, the winter storm of 94.
Yeah, I think Catherine has the best idea. Should we go to Clearwater?
Oh, yes, please.
Let's just pile in the car and go.
I volunteer as tribute.
No, it's been cold. You know, they had falling iguanas again today.
Oh, the falling iguanas. It gets below like 40 degrees and boop, they fall out of the trees.
Yeah, it does, and they'll die, but
No.
temporary.
They're cold-blooded animals, so they can't regulate their body temperature.
Right. Savannah says Campbellsville looks like they may have gotten a little bit of ice with the snow.
Oh, yeah.
Roads are terrible.
Not surprised.
And they've had, at least some snow. Vine Grove, some folks from the Weather Service saying they got about 1/10 of an inch down in Vine Grove.
Okay.
So they are seeing at least some snow on the snowboard down that way.
Yep. That's that makes sense. It's been central Kentucky, southern Kentucky getting the snow today.
Here's Gene.
Can't you do something about this cold?
If we could only control the weather.
We wouldn't be working here.
You better believe it.
You are getting the snow. You are getting
It'd
sunny.
be like the
and
Wizard of
70.
Oz, pull back the
Don't pay
curtain.
attention to the man behind the curtain.
It is the Great Oz.
Just me, the great Oz.
Is it safe to travel? That's always a subjective question. It depends how well you can drive, is what I like to say. I think there are going to be some slick roads on the untreated neighborhoods.
And it's interesting when you're driving, like in a situation earlier this week where we had snow on the interstate.
Right.
It's interesting to watch people and their reaction to the snow. Some people are very nervous drivers in the snow. They put on their flashers. They're hugging the right shoulder somewhat. And then you got these guys in bro-dozers that are just like going past you going 70 miles an hour. That's not safe. So it just depends on your confidence level.
Yeah. And I said it depends how well you could drive, but it depends how well other people can drive too.
Yeah. The saying is, I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about the people around me, and they can't drive.
Where is that Louisville snow?
It's in Indiana right now.
Yeah, it's on the way, Joe. Hang in there, pal.
It's coming. Everybody gets so like,
They
where's
were
my
wrong
snow?
again. It didn't happen when I thought it was going to. My backyard. You're not going to get that much anyway, Joe. So it doesn't really matter.
Everybody just chill.
It's just a little snow.
We just have to be patient, all right? And it's not going to be that much anyway. So what are you waiting for? Like an inch? Like,
Yeah.
it's not that big a deal. It's kind of like what we had on Sunday.
Here's Tony saying it's snowing in Shelbyville.
Yeah, you guys are under that band, that little deformation band that continues just south of the city right now.
Alexandra says her kids were actually hoping for
An actual
snow day.
as opposed to a fake snow day.
Yeah, I mean, then they're trapped in the house. Like the parents can't even be like, go out and play in the snow. They're like, well, there is no snow.
Yeah, and the parents are probably going to have to go to work too. So it's like, oh, shoot, now I have to find childcare. That's always fun. I get how that is. Oh, gosh. Here it is. Here it is.
Chris says, and John's watching because he's texting. So
Ring, ring. Belsky called.
Belsky wants snow in the ground part too.
If you don't know what that is,
you don't even have to tell him. Yeah, you probably don't even want to know. Anyway,
YouTube.
we'll move on.
YouTube.
The 94. I should have put those maps in.
Oh, yeah, we've got those. That's when we had 15 point something inches of snow here in Louisville. The anniversary tomorrow is the anniversary of the coldest temperature ever recorded in the state of Kentucky. It was minus 30 something in Shelby County. And we haven't gotten to that cold since then.
Well, and yesterday was the coldest in the United States in Kentucky, and that was Monticello at minus 22.
Can you believe
that? Was wild to see.
That is nuts. A snow cover will do so much to a temperature right above it.
Let's see. Dylan's saying no snow in LaGrange. When will it arrive here?
Later tonight.
A little, probably before midnight by the time it pushes down. Jimmy's saying Bullitt County Public Schools called NTI. Yeah, I can't see the info at the bottom of the TV screen. Of course, it's not on what you're watching.
We've got like a micro TV screen about 15 feet away from us. And
yeah.
My contact lenses can only do so much.
I can't see a thing in that.
I'm 20 with contact.
I don't even know what show we have on. What is that, Law and Order?
I thought
it's a courtroom.
Yeah, I think it's a Law and Order show. Law and Order, OMG.
Lori says she survived the 78 blizzard. A lot of people remember
Oh
that.
my gosh. Yeah, I hear stories. Like people will stop me at like the fast food drive-thru and tell me their 78 blizzard stories or their 74 tornado stories. 70s were wild here.
Yeah, Timothy says, isn't the 78 in the record books for the longest period of snow on the
I
ground?
think that's correct.
I'd have to go back and look that.
Yeah, like consecutive days.
Yeah, we're just stayed because it was so
Yeah.
cold. I mean, that was a big blizzard and then just
Yeah,
cold.
school was out for like a million years. I mean, it was crazy back then.
Let's see. Forrest says it's not doing anything in Shively. Not yet.
Not yet.
But it will. And it's going to be light. Let me go back to the radar. We're just swapping around, trying to take some of your questions here. All the reports so far, at least in Jefferson County within the last couple of hours, have been snow reports. We tell that by the MPing reports that you guys have. And you can see some of those freezing rain reports off to the south and a few sleet reports earlier, even in Breckenridge and northern Hardin County. But since then, it's all snow moving in.
Brian Newdorf works with the National Weather Service. And he says 77, 78 was also the last time the Ohio River froze solid. We've had ice on the river since then. 94 had some ice on the river, but the frozen solid part, it's been a whole long time. The pictures, you can Google them. Crazy.
Speaking of that, you should never, because what happens, especially when you have currents, it takes a long time of sub-freezing, well, really below zero temperatures to really get that ice thick enough to walk on. So even ponds that don't have a current should just stay off of them. We have not been, as cold as it has been, it's not been cold enough to be on ponds. I saw some kids on a couple of them and I'm like, oh.
And the rule at this latitude is just don't do it. Even if you think you've got enough ice, just don't do it. We're too far south. My dad grew up in Fort Wayne, Indiana. He used to play ice hockey on the ponds up there. That was far enough north. We're just not in that zone, guys.
So John says there was unofficial reports of that minus 40 degrees in Oldham County in 94.
Oh, interesting.
So,
oh, wow.
How about
they
that
just weren't
cold?
verified. But yeah, that could have been the record if they had been able to verify it. Interesting. Golly. Can you believe that?
We won't hear about JCPS until tomorrow morning. I'm sure.
They said 5 a.m. is kind of their cutoff for that. So I think we're going to wait on that one, it sounds like.
And there's Darla down in Guston. At least a little bit of snow there. Here's one I should put on just because they're saying they haven't heard. Yeah, again, we're just saying what people are saying, so you have to check with the school systems. If it's at the bottom of the screen, then it's
getting ready to scroll by on the bottom of the screen there. We're at Bardstown City Schools. Boyle County is closed.
Is it in there?
Looking. We're at the BO, so I'm waiting for the BU. Oh, it did not go by. So,
so it may not be
to
in
Campbellsville. Okay, interesting. So we may not have it on TV yet. So we'll see what happens there.
All right. Yeah, and here's Heather saying she works for them and haven't been told anything about them.
Aha.
So we'll see.
Hearsay, those comments, those pesky comments.
Yeah, right. We just pop them all up and start a big old no school war.
Don't believe everything you hear on the internet, kids.
Right. We're just putting up what you're saying. We don't know. Fake news right here. This is how it happens. You're being part of the problem.
Here we go.
Now we've gotten into the school talk, and this is going to get us.
This is how it derails right here.
So no ice then. Ashley says she can't drive on ice. Yeah,
nobody can. Jinx, you owe me a
yes. So you're right. We're pretty much done with the ice threat. It's all about snow at this point, and that snow that's moving in our direction will continue getting closer to us during the evening hours.
Any idea, Jenna says, what the road conditions will be Friday evening from Louisville to Cincinnati? That will be enough time for KYTC to get 71 in pretty good shape. 42 should be okay-ish. It's the side streets that are going to be a mess. If you have to divert off of either 42 or 71, like through Owen County or something like that, be prepared for a mess. Just keep that in mind if you're going on up there. Check the traffic conditions in the Wave Weather app just to make sure 71 is not a mess when you're trying to go Louisville, Cincinnati tomorrow afternoon.
I just pushed the mileage of how far away this is, 63 miles out from that snow shield, probably moving at 40, 30 something, 40-ish. So we're probably, probably 28.5 to 35. So we're probably 2-3 hours away. Well, I guess midnight.
Oh,
that's going to be close. So between 11 and midnight, probably.
Something like that. Yeah. Let's see.
Take that off. What do we got?
says
Snow talk. There's Jenna saying thank you.
Jenna. Info for French Lick. Yeah, we've got so many folks trying to get their individual town or city info here, and it's kind of the same for everybody. We have to kind of broad brush this because we've got like 1 billion cities within wave country here, right? So for French Lick, you guys look like you'll see inch, maybe a little more than an inch in some cases.
Here's Jessica saying, how about 4 to 5 a.m. tomorrow morning? Guessing slippery coming home from UPS for my kiddos. Yeah. That, by that point, we're still in the low 20s. The temperature keeps dropping throughout the day tomorrow. The snow will still be around in pockets. So it's going to be light snow, but it should be enough to give at least a dusting, and in some cases up to an inch, possibly 2 to our east. So
yeah, bad timing for the morning commute and for those third shifters trying to come home too early tomorrow. Not great. Snowing in Zonton, says DB. Hello, DB Cora.
Yeah, appreciate his work too. He's been helpful over the years.
Yes.
And a lot of folks jumping in, just wanting specific for their area. Again, I'll put up the snow map.
We kind of have to keep alternating between the radar and the snow map because everybody's asking the alternating questions. Where's the snow now and how much am I going to get? This is how much you're going to get.
And will you put the storm tracker in that SkyTrack position?
I can do that. Yeah.
We'll just see if we can see it.
Pardon my reach here. I have to reach off camera. Promise I'm not leading you guys here. Let's see. What was that? Rem 5?
Yeah.
Yellow.
Okay, they may be.
Oh, they packed it up, I guess.
All right, you can pop the SkyTrack back in there.
Yeah, the REMs just in case we had that wrong.
What we're looking at is just different cameras that we have. We had the storm tracker out showing road conditions, but I have a feeling it's already back here in the garage to thaw out and get ready to go back out for the 11 o'clock show. When will the snow start in Middletown?
Closer to midnight.
That's the.
And it's funny because it has been just south of Middletown all evening long. It's been like Fern Creek, Thixton, Glen Mary, Southeast Jefferson County, and the rest of Louisville. No snow yet.
Jeremy wants to know amounts for Jeffersonville.
They're on your screen.
And there they are. I'd say less than an inch, to an inch, close to an inch.
Something like that. Yeah, inch-ish.
You got to give or take a little bit. No one ever wants to know rain totals. You ever notice that?
Yeah,
it's not like how much rain.
Unless it's going to like flood. Yeah, right. When we get to like 2 to 4 inches of rain, then people are like, whoa.
This would be like talking about, are we going to get 1/10 of an inch of rain?
Yeah.
Or are we going to get 2/10?
It's the same amount of liquid, kids. That's it. It's like, okay, whatever. But when it falls as frozen precip, that's a big deal.
Yeah, so it's hard.
Missy says, instead of where's the beef, it's where's the snow? Little Wendy's throwback for you there.
Hang in there. It will snow. It is going to snow. Amounts and road conditions for Prospect. Well, there are the amounts on the screen. So Prospect would be in that 1, maybe 2 inch range. And road conditions probably not going to be all that good.
Anna says, an inch is not enough. Oh, okay. Sorry.
I know. I agree.
If you want a big snow, this ain't it. All right. This is not your snow.
Yeah. And I'm, again, we'd be here all night if we had to put all the towns up. I'm sorry we can't do that for everybody. I'm just scrolling through some of the comments, but you can see your location on that map. And that's just our latest guess. We have new data, by the way, coming in now, but we'll have a whole nother suite of the NAM in before the 11 o'clock show. So we'll be able to even update this one more time before we jump on for the 11 o'clock newscast.
Oh, that's good. Thank you, Stephanie, for the road report. Roads were wet. Salt trucks are out. Traveled 60 from 31 in Fort Knox there.
Yeah, that's helpful. We appreciate
we like that. That's easy to digest there. Thank you. Good. Is it though? Because like if you're shoveling 10 inches of snow, like you could have a heart attack. That's no fun.
No, that wouldn't be good. Freezing rain, Valley Station, the road is covered. So most likely it's snow and maybe a little bit of sleet there earlier. But yes, if the road's covered, then indeed it is slick.
Yeah, and just keep in mind, freezing rain is actually liquid rain that falls and freezes. So you would be getting hit with raindrops. Sleet is ice pellets. So you're probably tracking some ice pellets there or sleet.
Love a local live stream for weather. Well, thank you.
You're watching on YouTube. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. We're trying to grow our YouTube channel, and all of these Wave Weather Now broadcasts are on there. So it makes it easy to watch on your TV if you have the YouTube app for TV.
Right. We started with thousands of people. It's dwindled down. Obviously, we're sort of just being boring now, but
Still 420 something. That's good.
But if you have a chance to give a like, a thumbs up, or whatever's on your screen, because it depends what platform you're looking at, do so. That helps out. It lets us know, first of all, when we go back to look at the analytics of where people are, where we need to focus our attention. So we appreciate that if you have the chance to do that.
As they say, like and subscribe for more content.
There's a reason why.
Yes.
We don't have that big a head.
No.
You were going to say something.
I'm not going to say anything at all. No.
No.
I'm going to be a good boy today.
Oh, you didn't say in 10 minutes.
Oh.
You didn't say that.
No. Let's see.
We've got 9:06.
Just want to know, will JCPS have school? Yeah, you and like thousands of other parents.
Yeah.
Jeez, at this point, it's everybody's kind of chomping at the bit on that one.
The school, I don't suspect they'll have a decision before 5 a.m.
They're going to wait and see on this.
They're going to wait until at least it snows.
Yeah.
So we're not going to know by 11 because the snow's probably just getting here by then.
Yeah, and then they'll have their drivers on the roads. They'll be able to see how bad it is, that kind of thing. So,
but if any part of the week has been a sign of what's to come,
yeah,
I think we can infer what may happen.
Yeah, this is like what is it, like a one-day school week? It feels like around here.
I don't know. Everybody's saying Bullitt County now.
I just went on their Facebook page. I didn't see it.
Check it again,
I'll
because
check it
everybody's chiming in. They're like, now it's official. It's like a horse race that came down to like
a photo finish.
The photo finish.
Hey, there it is. NTI Day.
Bullitt
County.
You
Bullitt
heard
County
it here
is
first,
out.
thanks to whoever reported it.
Bullitt County is out. NTI Day right there. That actually works pretty well. We can show stuff on our phones in here. Not too problematic.
Could you see it?
Problematic. Yeah, you can read it. NTI Day. But they also made it in like
that's
size
right.
1,000
I
font.
was like, how in the world?
But yeah, otherwise the glare kind of
All
eats
right.
it up. But yeah, BCBS. That's your Bullitt County.
So
Public
somebody
Schools.
was in the know.
Somebody knew something that wasn't official yet.
Right. Even people were like, well, I drive the bus. No way. I'm the superintendent. It's not getting no. It is.
What? Oh, I didn't know that. That's pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
Uh-oh.
What do we got?
What you're hovering on, I don't know if you want to click that.
Oh, I didn't even read
You were
it.
hovering over. I was like, oh no.
Sorry, some people jump in here.
There's some sassy comments in these Facebook live streams sometimes here.
I don't know if that's a question from Chris or not.
Oh no! Now I got to check my phone. You guys are keeping me on my phone. I'm going to seem so rude over here. Now I have to make sure that
Will
that's
the roads
not
be
true.
bad in Louisville tomorrow morning? Some roads will be, Courtney. The untreated roads especially, I think, have the best chance. Yeah, Chris is just kidding.
Yeah, I have nothing official about that.
He's starting a fight.
I'm not even going to mention what
It's
he was
a
talking
fight.
about. That's one of those things you don't even utter.
Yeah, JCPS. I have a feeling
We'll see what
get
they
that
do
tomorrow
but yeah,
morning and not tonight.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're at 9:08. We're going to wrap this up. I'll show you the radar one more time. I've got to jump in, look at some of the
Yeah,
computer
we've been
guys.
doing this for 55 minutes.
Did it go
now,
by that
guys.
fast?
It went by that quickly. And the fact that we still have like almost 500 people on the line here with us shows that you guys are really interested in this. So we'll continue to do these, especially as active weather stacks up, because this is a great way for us to have a two-way communication stream with you guys. You can ask us questions. We can kind of show you some of the inside, scoop on the weather here. And you can get it so many ways with the Wave Now app for your TV, the Wave Weather app for your phone. Of course, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, whatever. We're there because that's our job.
And tomorrow, hopefully, we can get everything wired up right, and we'll hear from John.
Yes.
That'll be fun. So we'll probably do another one of these tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I don't know if he's available or not.
Through the
We'll
miracle of Zoom or whatever.
We'll figure out a way to do it. I mean, it's possible. We'll send a live truck if we have to. Right?
Here comes the
we're
truck.
in the communication
Right.
business. We can surely get them on TV or the internet, Facebook, for goodness sake.
We can probably do that. I think we can achieve.
This will not be that hard.
No, we'll make it work. We just didn't have enough time tonight. If the time is the number one thing that I wish we had more of in our lives, right?
Suzanne comes in with a voice of reason. You're right. We really don't know how the streets are going to be because it depends how they are now.
The word meteorology doesn't include street in it anywhere. We're not streeteorologists.
And Missy says Wave's the only one showing school closings right now.
Oh, on the local channel, yeah. So there's an advantage.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right.
Pays
Well,
to watch Wave.
we will say goodbye for now. We've got plenty more to come as we look to the 11 o'clock show. We'll update everything. A quick peek to that 10-day forecast just to sort of burst the snow lovers bubble once we get past tonight, early tomorrow. C'est la vie. There is no snow in the 10-day forecast past that. It's rain and temperatures back in the 50s. So that's what, the boos from the crowd coming in. There's a pic of beautiful Bardstown. That's a live camera. Still looks like, I'm trying to look in those street lights.
Street
there.
looks okay.
Yeah, the streets are wet, but it looks
You're
like
just trying to see if it's
some
snowing.
snow.
I
But you
can't
can
tell.
see the slush back there as you go down North 3rd. So we do have at least some.
I don't know if it's snowing or
So.
not. Yeah.
All right, goodbye for now. We will see you again tomorrow night, and I'll see you back on Wave News at 11 o'clock.
We'll see you then, guys. Good night.
Thank you.